Hi, in this video we'll show how Omega 365 checklist works. We will show how to create and manage them and how it can be used in different apps across Omega 365.
A checklist is a list of things to be checked or done. In Omega 365 you can manage a library of checklists, and the checklist can be version controlled. The same checklist can be reused in many different apps, including activities and workflows, meetings, document management and more. Here we have an overview of all the checklists in this checklist library app. On the right hand side you will see the different check items that have been configured. We also support translations so that you can automatically have the checklist translated to different languages, and you can then manually adjust them if needed. You can also write a procedure for detailing how and describing how to perform the check. When a checklist is ready to be made available for the different organizations, projects, etc., you can publish it. So you publish a checklist to an org unit in Omega 365. You can also define if there's a need for signing the checklist and then who should sign it. And this is role-based. So here we have a checklist that we utilize for our ISO 27001 certification. You can see the different check items that we need to go through, and you can see also that there's a reference to a web page where you can read more about, in this case, the security policy that is applicable for this check item. When you go through these check items and verify the compliance with the different requirements in ISO 27001 in this case, then you also have the possibility to register findings directly from here like this. You can also here attach web pages and other references. We also have a different UI which can be utilized when you are actually going through and doing the verification. This could be sometimes something that you need to do out on a construction site, for example, and then doing it from a mobile device.
Or tablet or...
Yeah, and then it's practical to just go through like this one is organized, quick check through the different items and click if it's checked or not checked or if it's not applicable, and register, of course, any findings as required. In some cases, it's relevant to record the data that is identified during the activity, if it's an inspection or maintenance operation or whatever. So in this case, it's configured so that you can go in here and register, in this case, frequency, noise level, operation temperature, voltage, etc. So there are possibilities to configure these different individual check items and say which data needs to be recorded as part of it.
Yeah, and this will be data that will be stored on the objects, asset objects, yes, tied to this check sheet.
Another place where we see checklists being very useful is as part of a document review. That could be self-checks, it could be discipline check, interdisciplinary check, where you should go through certain items and verify that it's actually compliant with your requirements. And you can see the same concept here, that you have the checklist here, and it will also be clearly marked who has completed a checklist, the number of outstanding items, and of course you can record any findings basically by doing commenting on the document itself, for example as markups. Finally, I also want to show that you can use it in a meeting. For example, here we have a project risk review meeting as part of the introduction, a checklist to verify that, to ensure that you remember to go through each of these things before you start the meeting in this case. In addition to use the checklist library, you can also create your own checklist ad hoc. So in this case, in this agenda item, I want to add some check items. I just go here, input check items, and fill in the required check items to go through.
Yeah.
So as you can see, checklists can be used many places around in Omega 365. We have a checklist library. It also comes with several predefined checklists that are relevant, and you can have full version control and manage your checklist efficiently in Omega 365.
Yeah, and one key feature there when you have a centralized library is that when you have used these activities and when they are not started, but there's a new revision that's been updated, it will automatically be part of that activity.
Yeah, so but those existing activities where you've started going through a checklist, then of course you will work on that revision that was used at the time when a checklist was initiated.
Yes. Also a handy feature when you use a checklist from the library, you can set it up so you can append and add items when you're executing an activity as well. Thank you for watching.
Yes, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out academy.omega365.com for more resources about Omega 365.